Well, once again, this crazy dynasty of Newcastle United and transfer rumours keeps going on. Apparently, as you can see there on the main headline, we are looking at Diaby and a bid is imminent. Apparently, we know that the scouts have been over in Germany. We thought it was maybe looking at the Leipzig players, but it could also be Diaby as well. Now, we'll also look at War Flags. They've got a fantastic plan for the last game of the season. Are we going to make changes against Leeds United, of course, on Saturday? Is he going to mix up the front three, do you think? Raphinha has come out and denied everything about a transfer away from Barcelona, so we'll look at that as well. And Nick Pope and Callum Wilson have both spoke to, of course, long-time target James Maddison. So let's have a look at it all. This is the Daily News. Hi everybody, I'm Paul. Welcome back to the Daily News on the Toon Review YouTube channel. Just before we get into it, as usual guys, if you do enjoy today's video, please don't forget to hit that like button. It is so important to the channel. And of course, if you are new and like what you see, hit that subscribe button. We're nearly at 19,300 now, which would be incredible. So thank you again for all your support. Now, into the video itself, and we'll start off with this Diaby bid. Now, obviously, we knew that Newcastle United scouts were in Germany. We were told that they were possibly looking at Leipzig players, of course, Szoboszlai and Haidara. Now, the game that they went to scout was, of course, against Leverkusen. Now, we know who plays for Leverkusen, Moussa Diaby, and he has been a massive interest of Newcastle's now, probably, I think, since the takeover. But nothing was said about that. Nothing was confirmed whether we were scouting him or not. Now, French media have come out and said that there is a bid from Newcastle United imminent. So that word imminent creeps up again. Now, we've had that word imminent creep up many times in transfer windows, etc. But it would seem that this is now beginning to pick up pace for Diaby. He's had a very good season again for Leverkusen, being one of the standout players. The season didn't start very well, but Xavi Alonso has really calmed things down there, got things going again, and they're up in the top 6, I believe, of the Bundesliga now, which is a tremendous season from where they started. But it's going to be difficult. There is going to be other interested parties in Diaby. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that Newcastle United have been knocking on the door for quite some time now, I think Diaby himself will have probably been made aware of Newcastle's interest on many occasions. He didn't want to go in the summer because he wanted to play in the Champions League for Leverkusen. It may well be different this season because Leverkusen may not make the Champions League, whereas Newcastle will, which will open the door to Diaby playing in the Champions League again. So it's a very interesting one to keep an eye on, guys. Again, you know, this is what I'm seeing from media reports. It's not in the know. I don't know if he's coming or not, but it would be fantastic if he did, because there's a lot of Newcastle fans that would love to see Diaby bombing that down that right-hand side for Newcastle United. Now, War Flags, they've come out and said that they want to put on a very special display for the last game of the season. Now, that's against Leicester. It's a Monday night. And we know what they've done all season. They have been nothing short of sensational, War Flags. They really have. They're a credit to the football club, especially after Mike Ashley banned them all from, putting any flags up or anything like that. The new owners have come in. War Flags have been back, and the flag demonstrations before a game have been sensational. It's really got the crowd into it. It's got the players going, and it makes St James's Park look like one hell of a spectacle. When it's full, the flags are waving. It is an incredible place to be with the noise and everything around you. So War Flags want to make this very special. Now, of course, they need continued donations, and I'm going to put a link down in the description if you want to make a donation to War Flags, because I think it's very important that they continue to receive funding for such a wonderful job that they do for us Newcastle United fans on match days. Now, with regard to the selections for Leeds. Now, of course, we've got the preview show tonight, which could be very interesting to pick a starting 11 from, because it's injuries, who's not playing, who is, where's he going to go with the front three. Isak, Wilson. We've got all that to discuss, but apparently Miggy is expected to come back in for Jacob Murphy on the right-hand side. This is Eddie Howe's way of, spicing things up, freshening things up in the front three. He's expected not to play Wilson and Isak. Now, we know Eddie Howe can swing curveballs left, right and centre every time he picks a side. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think he will pick the two of them again, but it will be... I'm quite keen to find out who's going to play on the left. Will it be Anthony Gordon? Or will Maxi come into the starting 11? Is he fit enough? Now, I would say yes, he's fit enough to get maybe 60, 65 minutes. We've also got Anthony Gordon to come on. But if Wilson and Isak don't start, we've also got that option on the bench. So we're a lot stronger on the bench, I think, when either Isak or Isak or Wilson is on the bench. And of course, down the left-hand side, we could go with Joe Linton-Willock. So he's got options there this time. So, but we'll have a chat about that tonight. That's at 8 o'clock, if you're watching this, of course, on Thursday. Now, Newcastle may well be bringing in a digital ticketing system next season. This is to cooperate with, the environment and things like that, and their stamp on things, and they want to improve things. Now, digital ticketing, I don't know much about it. I've just seen a report about it this morning. There wasn't much detail in the report, to be honest. So, what's going to happen with that, I don't know. Is it just going to be a ticket emailed to your phone, you download it to your phone, you keep it on your phone for the season? Or do they send individual ones out for season ticket holders for that particular game on your phone? I don't know how it will work. It's a carbon footprint thing. They're working with a company, I think, to try and eliminate the size of the carbon footprint on Newcastle, get rid of plastics, things, all good stuff for the environment. Now, how a digital ticketing system will work, I mean, in this day and age, it should be quite simple, in all honesty. But I think the whole ticketing system needs a revamp anyway at Newcastle United, not just how you receive your tickets, it's how you get them in the first place. So we've seen a lot of problems this season with many people, missing out on the cup final because of the ticketing system, having problems every time they try to purchase tickets for matches, the queuing system. Everything needs a whole revamp. We do know that, but I'm sure the club do as well. Raphinha. Now, this player was in the headlines last week about a potential move to Newcastle United. It was reported that he was very unhappy at Barcelona and wanted out. Things haven't quite worked out for him since his move from Leeds to Barcelona. However, Raphinha has come out and absolutely slammed these reports and said that they are utter lies. He's denied saying anything that he's accepted to leave Barcelona in the summer. He doesn't know where these reports have come from, and he claims that they have not come from his mouth. So, again, this is what I mean about taking these transfer rumours with pinches of salt and things like that. We don't know until the player signs, until the Newcastle United Football Club come out and say, yes, this player we've agreed a fee, this guy's coming in for a medical, and then, of course, we see him with the flag. With the scarf above his head or the flag wrapped around him, whatever it may be. That is how we tend to sort of welcome our players to the club. But it's interesting because Raphinha, he hasn't really come across as a guy who causes problems or anything like that. So I'm not sure where the reports have come from. Spanish media, of course, can be very, very harsh and blunt, just like the English media. There's been a lot of said about the way that the Spanish media go on sometimes about the superstars over there. However, it's just the same over here, really, isn't it? There's not much difference. We slam our superstars for whatever reason these days. But that's an interesting one on Raphinha because I'd love him. I think he'd be fantastic for Newcastle. But now it's all up in the air again as to whether he's actually wanting to leave Barcelona or not. Finally, we come on to Callum Wilson and Nick Pope. And as we know, obviously they went to Qatar with the England side in the World Cup. And they have been talking to James Maddison, obviously about living on Tyneside, and trying to promote to James Maddison the quality of life on Tyneside and how good it is, the lifestyle, things like that it is a very cosmopolitan city now. And, people talk about London, etc. But Newcastle and the Newcastle United Football Club are developing both at the same time. We know that Newcastle City Centre it's very futuristic, but also steeped in history. And I think that's what people like about coming to Newcastle as a city, that it's got the modern bars and the modern shops and everything like that. but it also has kept its history there, and people like that. You know, they like coming up to Newcastle, they like the modern stuff, but they also like the historical stuff. So, you know, James Maddison, will he like it up here? I don't think he'd have a problem at all. I mean, Leicester's not exactly the glam city of the world, is it? I mean, that's no disrespect to Leicester. You know, they're in the Midlands, we're in the North. We're in the same sort of boat when people try and promote cities in the South. You know, so James Maddison coming to Newcastle, for me, would not be a problem. I think he'd love it here. And it's nice that the players talk. Well, listen, we know the talk. And I'm sure that when they were over in Qatar, a lot was said to James Maddison, because obviously the rumours about Maddison coming to Newcastle were rife in December, of course, ahead of the winter transfer window. It didn't quite develop in January. We are apparently back in for him again. We are at the table for James Maddison. There's a lot of Leicester fans actually saying that they believe he will come to Newcastle and not go down south. So that's interesting for me. Maddison, again, he hasn't really said anything, has he? He's just keeping himself to himself. But that will sort of develop at the end of the season. He's got one more year on his contract. I don't think he's going to see that contract out. Leicester will want money for him. Come on, they're going to get good money for him. They don't want to risk losing him on a free. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's very exciting about this summer coming up. But there you go, guys. That is all the latest news. As usual, please let me know down in the comments what you think of everything that I've discussed today. I do read all the comments. It's fantastic getting your guys' opinion on everything that comes up on these daily news shows. So please comment down below. But that's it. If you have enjoyed today's show, as I said at the start, please do hit that like button. It is so important to this channel that we continue to get the likes and be on those search results on YouTube. And of course, if you're new to the channel, come and be part of the fantastic community that we have here on the Toon Review, and hit that subscribe button. Free to do so, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any future videos. But that's it for now. As I say, if you're watching this on the Thursday, do join us at 8 p.m. tonight for the match preview for the big game against Leeds at lunchtime on Saturday. But until then, enjoy your day, guys. Take care.